collaborative efforts and international cooperation? I repeat, could lawsuits hinder broader collaborative efforts and international cooperations? Ladies and gentlemen, what is the status quo in this debate? The status quo in this debate is currently the existing legal framework doesn't recognize any right to a particular climatic condition and relies on alternative mechanisms for addressing climate change impacts. Ladies and gentlemen, what are our arguments in this debate? Argument number one is that there are legal complexities and burdens involved in allowing future generations to sue governments. This means that complexities in determining how a particular government is responsible for a particular damage, linking a particular climate-related event such as a hurricane, drought to a particular government is complicated. Here we mean that climate change is influenced by various global emissions and nature climate changes. So we mean that it is natural. The other point is that it wastes. The second speaker will come and continue. I have stopped. I rest my case.
Thank you, Pano. So, Pano, what do you get from the negator side? So, first of all, the negator came on the rebut of some of the leaders not believe in climate change, whereby shows that basically that the government should really be blamed for this effect and being sued, because if they don't believe, it means they're more of like responsible for the climate change because they believe that the climate change should happen. So, Pano, I come back to our case. Like they came on and talked about the thing that climate is natural. So, this thing is kind of like it's natural. If climate is natural, what has the government done for it? We see that the government can try to put on preventive measures to kind of control this kind of climate or try to adapt to it. So, Pano, I come back to our case, whereby our case had the things that's like this thing that they are trying to why we believe we should sue this government, because we know that this government has an agreement between the government has an agreement between the people, whereby it has all obligations to protect us and our environment we stay in. So if the government has refused to protect us, why rather should we leave them to control like this trade? Like if they would have put these enough funds in the budget, like the government, if enough funds were there, people would plant more trees. Where would be like people will be given pieces where they will be sensitized if they are even not for to sensitize people. People would plant it day and night making forests grow and invest like in this. If they tried also to invest in the protection associations, because the government has felt not allowed, has felt ought to do that. Also, we have this thing like, I rest my case.
Dear judges, let me start with the problems of team affirmative. One, it fails to come and tell us the parameters in this debate, dear judges and August House. The government that they are talking about, is it the government of Uganda? Is it the government of USA? Is it the government of Nigeria, dear judges and August House? Now, dear judges, let's go to the burdens involved in suing the government. If they try to tell us that they are trying to sue the government, dear judges, we have the burdens that are involved in this. One, they will have to spend a lot of money trying to sue the government, dear judges and August House. Now, if they spend a lot of money in trying to sue the government, it is not going to solve the problem. Two, it is going to waste a lot of time, dear judges. Productive time that must be taken on trying to solve the problems of climate change is going to be wasted on suing governments, dear judges. Instead of the future generations suing governments, let them work hard and make sure that these problems which they are facing, the problems which they are facing now are solved by them, but not suing the future governments, dear judges and August House. Now, I want to ask them the following question. Is there any constitutional rights for citizens to have a specific climate conditions, dear judges and August House? I expect the team to come and answer that question, dear judges. Let me continue from where my speaker had stopped from. she said that climate change is influenced by various global emissions and natural climate changes, and this is establishing a direct link in such cases can be difficult, dear judges and August House. Now, if they try to come and tell us that the future generations should sue these governments, dear judges and August House, one, it is not going to solve the problem, dear judges, because we do not have evidence to sue the governments which are to sue these governments, dear judges. If we had enough evidence from their team that if we had enough evidence, that's when we would sue the government. But they fail to come and give us the evidence they have to sue these governments, dear judges and August House. So there is no evidence to why we should sue these governments. It is not fair in the overall place. It is not fair. It is not going to promote any fairness, dear judges. If you sue the past government for if you sue the government which is there now for the problems of the past government, it is not going to create anything that like fairness, and this wastes time, and it is also expensive. My third speaker will add to that. Rest our case.
Thank you, panel. I would like to begin with deploying the question from the negators. One, they ask us that do the citizens have a right to live in the best way, in the best place where they want? So we come out as with the affirmatives and tell them that the citizens have a right to sue the government simply because the government which is on it will be have able to to learn from the mistakes of other governments. So this is where we come to today's debate, today's motion. It states that this house believes that the future generations should be able to sue the government for damages from the effects of climate change. Number one, what do we get from the negators? The negators, number one, the problem they had, they followed, they failed to follow the speaker's burdens, because as we heard from his speech, he came out talking about our burdens, yet which the role must be done with by the third speaker. That is why the negators are looking forward to lose today's debate. So what do we get from Team Affirmatives? Team Affirmative comes out and states that the government should be sued because of these following reasons. Number one, the government failed to protect, to put strict laws against the destruction of environment. So what made the negators also to lose this debate? It is because they didn't understand which tense exactly is the motion. The motion, please, it is in the future tense, and we are debating in the present tense. So the government failed to put strict laws against the destruction of environment. How? Like, for example, the government, if it would have allocated enough money, as my speakers have been elaborating more about it, that the allocation of money in the budget of Uganda that is aimed at the prevention of climate change, it is still low. That is why you will find in the budget when they are showing when they are not showing any money for the unpreparedness of the climate change. So it straight pushes us to number two. Like the negators with the affirmatives come out and said that the government failed to sensitize the people on the importances of climate. So if the government would have sensitized the past generations, these generations, the government failed to sensitize the generation. So the government should be sued because it is just wasting time, and people have right to sue the government. What does suing the government mean? It simply means taking the government to the court, and then you condemn it, and you get a better government that it is going to rule you. So we got a Thank you, Pan. I would like to rest my case.
Thank you, panel. This House believes that future generations should be able to
sue the government for the damages of climate change. And we, as the negators, oppose this motion. Why? I'm going to first begin with our rebuttals. First of all, they say that the government works under a contract and it's supposed to be, it's the one in charge of the country and all that. But we ask a question: which constitutional right is there for citizens to have a specific climate condition? Not that we said a specific climate condition. Which right is there to say that now this area is supposed to receive rainfall? Which right is there to say that this area is supposed to receive sunshine? It's not there. It is caused due to natural factors, not the government. They say that the government is the one causing climate change, and we really question that with a lot of doubt, because we don't think that just because some governments, not even all, because we believe that governments are there that have really tried to impose laws, but just because some governments, some, they're even not even many, because there are very many world movements, some governments have put a blind eye to climate change, it doesn't mean that it will stop happening. Secondly, they say that they try to rebut a point where we say that some leaders don't believe in climate change. We mean that there are some leaders who are somehow ignorant, but that doesn't give you a right to sue all governments. They didn't even put perimeters. So we know that we know that climate change affects the world. Denied. We know that climate change affects the world at large, meaning that an activity done, like for example in Brazil, can affect some place like in Africa. So there is no right of suing government in a certain country for an activity that took part in a different country. We talk when we oppose the right of suing future generations. Imagine it's even future, meaning even there is a possibility that a certain government, which is like in the past, did something, and then you're suing the future innocent government, which is injustice, and it is very unfair. And secondly, it leads to legal complexities. There we mean um a lot of time and money can be spent on suing this government instead of focusing on other important issues such as preventing climate change, which is the major problem in today's debate. So, dear panel, we believe that suing these future governments it is rather time wasting, money spending, and carries very many disadvantages. And we should rather focus on other important matters to stop climate change.
Dear judges, let me first start by giving the disadvantages in their world. One, we see that it is not fair. Two, we see that it wastes time. Three, we see that it is so expensive. Now, they even do not have evidence to sue the government. Now, let me come to comparison of the worlds. A world whereby they are suing the government, and a world whereby citizens are fighting to come to come down the consequences of climate change they are facing. We see that in a world where they are going to sue the government, it is not effective, and there are very many disadvantages and there are very many risks. Now, let me come to the world where the citizens are fighting for themselves to solve the problem. Now, it is effective because the citizens themselves are the ones fighting the problems, so it is going to be more effective and workable, because they will be able to sensitize themselves and now solve the problem on the table. And dear judges and August House, we as team negative believe that we have won this debate because we have been able to come to put down all their points in this debate. We rest our case.
So, thank you, dear judges. As you believe, the first speaker came here and clearly stated that in their governments they have leaders that do not believe in climate change. Automatically, the ignorance of the leaders is the reason as to why we're suffering from the damages. Because had they had, let me say, had they had leaders that cared about climate change, we would not suffer from these damages. They tell us we are unfair. We realize that the damages that may had occurred on Obote's regime are not the same damages that have occurred on, let me say, on Amini's regime. So if at all Obote's regime worked hard, we, the people, okay, if at all Amini's regime works hard to fight the damages that may occur after, then the regime of Museveni won't suffer. That means there will be reduction. But when we sue this, they told us, why do we sue this government? We sue this government because we believe they did not fight the damages that, okay, fine, the first government may have done something, but if the other government fights also, there will not be, let me say, it will not hike to the extent that the damages cannot be irreversible. Thank you.
Okay, we thank all the speakers for that wonderful session of debate. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, my judges and I will move out and deliberate. In the meantime, I leave Ms. Denise Ayebare in charge of the session.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I had introduced myself, Council Communication Andrew, and I'm really, really glad for the schools that have participated. This is Debate Academy Uganda, and also the best speaker in public speech and also debate. These books, I would call them books. They are specifically booklets to train you about the environment, the dangers, and how beautiful they are to do your research, not only even for environmental issues, but also in issues like SST and also science. So with these have been given out by Tree Adoption Uganda, one of our partners in this program. And we are also going to be running with NEMA to distribute training materials in regards to environment. The purpose why we are focusing on environment is to see that the young people fight or for a front and agenda to make sure that the environment is kept safe and clean. Like how I think most of the schools apart from Medina, I have visited all of you individually. And our theme has been, or our motto has been, my environment, my life. So we believe that if we don't have a safe environment, then we don't have a safe life or a life to live with. So if your environment is safe and clean, then your life is safe. So we shall be coming more to your schools with a bigger team this time, bigger, with resources. We came to your schools and formed environmental clubs. So this time we are coming to give them materials and other logistics to make sure that we champion the fight. Other than that, we are going to be giving you certificates and also other a little bit prizes to the people that have played a bigger role in the tournament. My greatest thanks goes to the patrons. You know, we had previously organized it to happen on 22nd, which didn't happen because of a couple of issues that the document that we sent out, apologizing. We later postponed it to 29th, and we had planned to take it at Chitante, but just because of also other technical issues, we had to bring it here. Regarding other programs that we are running at the start of August, mid-August, they're not going to be participated who was engaged in this debate tournament. And ideally, I thank you all for coming through. Other than that, we shall have a few remarks from the CS and also the tournament director. CS should come and give feedback on how the debate tournament was, especially not the finals, but the general feedback on what they have observed entirely. Other than that, thank you so much.
Testing microphone 1 2. I'm audible. Hi everyone. How are we doing? Before I do anything, just give yourselves a round of applause. All right. So I don't think I introduced myself very well in the morning. Again, I am Adungo Onyogo David. I am a teacher by profession. These people call me professor. Sometimes I am a teacher of geography and economics. Yes, I think that is enough for now. However, I've been interacting with a few judges and I've told them that I also adjudicate public speaking at secondary level and university level. Currently, I think I'm the chief adjudicator for UNSA debate championships. Not very important for this particular engagement. However, I could say that some of the speeches that you people have given us or have given me from round 1 up to the finals are actually far much better than some speeches would get from university students who have won tournaments. Because most of those particular speakers do what I often want them to do, which is they play around with the words, they play around with the mode of delivery, they play around with your emotions to listen to them, but they don't really go in depth to give us why they are delivering the speech in the first place, or why should we be interested in listening to the speech in the first place. Because for public speaking, we award 3 crucial things. One is the content, which takes most of the marks, which is 50. Then we have mode of delivery, which takes 30. Then the language. Now, language is listed simply because we don't mark accents, we don't look at that. We're simply looking at the correctness in the language, the grammar, as well as the choice of words that you are using. In public speaking, we don't want you to be so complicated like one MP. I don't even want to know his name because whatsoever he says, I don't get it. And I'm not interested in listening to him. That is not communication. In public speaking, we want you to communicate with the audience. The reason as to why you're standing there is because your audience is more important than you who is delivering the message. If I was speaking here and no one is inside here, it would be I would look very stupid. I'd actually be a madman. All right? So it is the audience that makes the speaker and not the other way around. So we were able to see, and I don't know whether this is because the patrons or the teachers help the learners come up with the speeches or not, but we were able to see a mature level of reasoning as far as content is concerned. That when we are telling you to give a speech before your school assembly, we're able to see that maturity in the content. And that was something very beautiful. When you people speak like this at this particular level, it gives us a hope. By the some of us are very jealous. And I want to use a very simple example. Recently, Uganda was represented at Worlds, isn't it? And some of the people that went are high schoolers. Now, some of us here are in university, or some people are even done. But deep down would wish that we got that opportunity to go out there and debate. Okay? Because most of us just did a few tournaments and we left. But you people getting this opportunity at such a tender age opens you to a number of opportunities that you can never think of. And that is something very beautiful. So students, pupils, every time you go out for an engagement, remember one thing. You're not only doing it for yourself. but you're doing it for your parents, you're doing it for the school that has sent you, you're doing it for your patrons because they have invested a lot of time, and the bare minimum you can give them is to do your very best in a tournament. Whether you win or you don't lose, at the end of the day, or whether you win or you don't win, sorry, at the end of the day, you need to be able to pat yourself on the back and say, I didn't make it, but I did my very best. I want to end with a simple story. Last year, my partner was the rich man, Yamugisha. That is, he was my partner for UDN debates that were hosted at Eureka. I was still at Chambogo. We reached the finals, and in my life, I was the very first person to speak in that debate round. Now, very many people, if you ask them about that round, we didn't win. They'll tell you, that speech wasn't good. But for me, I even told Arinda Sevier that after I delivered that speech, it was the only speech ever since I started debating that made sense to me, and I felt it. So I didn't win, but I was so proud of myself because I've come a very long way. And to me, I felt that was a very good speech that I will ever give in my entire life. And that is something I'm proud of up to now. So at the end of the day, are you going to be that proud participant? You didn't make it to the finals of public speak. Yes, it's okay. But did you do something significant in round 1 or round 2 or round 3 that you are proud of? That is where real success comes in. Then also, you can never be the best overnight. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort. Patrons, you will not come to a tournament and you'll make it straight to the finals and win. You have to invest. You have to put in the good work. You have to invest in training. And that is where you'll see the fruits. I know of a coach that has reached very many finals with very few trophies. But he doesn't give up. He's always doing it. And he does it with a humble heart and a big smile. So, all in all, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for delivering those wonderful speeches. I am proud of you all, and I look forward to having more fruitful engagements with you all. Thank you very much. So, I'm going to be awarding the participants. Okay, this is just for everyone that has participated in public speaking. Then when it reaches to the time of acknowledging who wins, we'll be able to give them to you. So can I have Wambale Alvin? Thank you very much for participating. Please come and pick your certificate. Amumpaire Nelly Wendy, thank you very much. Please come and pick your certificate. Yeah. Amumpaire Gift, Gabriela, thank you very much. Inkiriza Pamela Faith. Yes. Amumpaire Gift. Shafi. Huda. Where is Huda? Namboa. Huda. And you people still have a way to go. I think Namboa, you're in P3, right? She's in P3, but she's delivering speeches before the president. Yeah, and some of you, I am so sure if we picked some of you here randomly and we gave you this microphone to tell us how your journey was to this place, I think by the time you finish, everyone will be dozing. That is how bad it is. But anyway, it is okay. Then Adil Atim, congratulations. Please come and take your certificate. You people don't want to clap. Thank you very much. Also, please keep those certificates. The reason as to why I was able to get my first, these people call it gig, my first job as a public speaking lecturer was not because I was overqualified, even though when I went for an interview to study in that institute, they looked at me and they're like, "You man, you are too qualified to study here. Can you just come and train us public speaking instead?" So I went with the motive of studying in that institute. I ended up lecturing them public speaking. Not because I knew a lot, but because I had my certificates that proved that I was a judge and a trainer for public speaking. So those small things make a lot of difference at the end of the day. All right, thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to welcome Peter Elianu Atoto to give us feedback on how the debates have been and how they progressed. Peter Atoto, over to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going. I wanted to introduce myself like Professor Daoudi, but I think I will skip that for today. I'm just going to do a small intro about myself. I hope it takes 30 seconds, but here we go. My name is Peter Elianu. You can see me on the camera. My name is Peter Elianu. Most people call me Atoto in the circuit. Um, I am very proud of each and everyone who has participated in today's debate. You guys deserve a round of applause, right? There's two reasons. First, I believe the greatest number of teams that came are not from Kampala. So for you to sacrifice a weekend of classes, a weekend of taking care of your personal hygiene and everything, to travel all the way from Kasese, from wherever you guys come, Gulu, and very other many places in Western Uganda, and come and attend a session and put in your might, even when breakfast delayed or even when lunch delayed, you moved on. That shows that most of you have brains of adults. We go for tournaments that have high school students, but immediately they lose one round, they're demotivated, they want to go home, they're no longer participating, but not you people. So that is a lot coming from you, and we cannot stop, but we are all astonished as to how far you've been able to come. Now on to feedback. As today went on and as the rounds went on, I had an opportunity to meet up with many judges, and they always had comments. Most of the comments were not negative. Many of them were actually positive. I think the one outstanding comment, this goes to most of the patrons. Please and please encourage the pupils to develop their own cases so that they can debate those cases, right? It really feels a bit, what's the word for it? It feels plastic for us to see a student come and present material off a paper, okay? And they have to read every 1 second, they have to look at their paper to present material. That shows that in one way or another, everything that is being debated today has been predetermined, okay? Meaning the pupils are no longer debating what they think is right, but actually what the patrons think is right. I am not going to mention names, but it has been something that we have noticed in other debaters, not every debating team, but there are specific debating teams you would see, and you can tell that this material has been generated by somebody who is older. When we began this tournament, I said you need to keep calm. The material you need to give us is material that you understand, okay? I had people talk about the climate tax. If I'm to pick you guys at random here, how many of you guys know about the climate tax? At least, how many of us have an idea about the climate tax? But we hear it as we go for rounds. Now that shows that most of the material that is coming is mainly coming from patrons. Okay? And this is advice I think to most patrons. The most you can do as a patron is give that material to the pupil, explain it in the simplest way possible, and see if they have understood the entire analysis. It is me coming to tell you that a cup is blue because we went to a studio, rather we went to a factory and manufactured. Okay, that is why the cup is blue. When the pupil comes out and speaks and tells me the cup is blue because there was a studio that was determining what color should be created. Have you seen? It is a different way of thinking, but the understanding is the same. Okay, the goal behind, and I think this is for Debate Academy, the goal behind here is to ensure that pupils have an opportunity to think for themselves. okay, that when they go to a podium, they're not going to be flexed by the fact that they do not have material to present, but because this is something that is coming off head and they have capitalized it with the research that they do. Okay, so that's the one word of advice I can give to the patrons. Encourage your pupils to think on their own. When they fail, then you can come and step in. All right, okay, because it would only feel bad for the pupils to debate, win a tournament, but deep inside they know they never sat down and thought for themselves. Okay, as opposed to a pupil who will come, think for himself and make it to a semi-finals. He or she will sit down and know that I made it to a semi-finals because I worked hard to get to where I'm at, as opposed to I had to get material from Coach Peter. I had to do this. Coach Peter said that I should present 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases, and that would win the debate. Two different things. The last thing, and this is the last form of research, for the teams that haven't made it to the finals, this is not the end. This is only the beginning. But this is going to determine two ways. First, you can go back from here, sit down, and say because you've lost a round, you're never going to debate. Or we can come back greater, stronger, practice more, and ensure that when you come back and debate next time around, or even do your public speech next time around, you have done your practice, you've done your own research, you've understood what you need to do, and then you come and tussle it out. So we expect that faces that we have seen today, maybe except for the ones that are in P7, because you might leave primary and go to high school. But we expect that the majority of faces that are in P3 and not above P7 will come back for more tournaments. Okay? We intend, and I think this is the plan that we are developing. We're not only going to have it in Kampala, we also want to have it next time in Gulu, right? Okay? Are you guys ready for us? Right? We want to have it in Kasese. We want to come out and eat sombe. I think you guys eat sombe. Yeah, we want to come there and eat sombe. And then we want to go to Western Uganda and eat a shabwe. Okay? We're getting okay. Me, I'm not tired of the rice and chicken, but hey, we want to come and eat the food from that side. Yeah. And for the guys in Gulu, we want to come and eat corn. I think it's called corn. Yeah, we want to come and eat that and gueno, right? Yeah, we want to come and eat that. When we come to Medina, we want to go and pray at lunchtime with you guys. Okay? So it's not always going to be in one place. We're going to keep on moving. But the best way for us to have something like this happening is if we encourage many people to keep on participating in the sport. Okay? I do not want to spend a lot of time here because many of us are exhausted when we want to leave and go to our places of residence, right? But lastly, encourage students to think on their own. Two, we encourage you to keep on practicing so that next time you'll be better. I'm going to hand out, we're going to hand out our certificate. But as I'm handing out our certificates, I'm going to invite Mr. Moses to help me hand them over. Now, as Mr. Moses is coming to the podium, I need to let you know that he is one of the in charge of the UNCCD. It is the United Nations. It's a caucus that is determined to fighting desertification in Africa, right? And he has been participating and he has been representing Uganda. So as he's coming to the floor, let's give him a round of applause. Hey, keep on clapping. Eh? All right, before we hand out the certificates, let Mr. Moses say a word or two, then we shall hand them out.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Menino Moses. Like he said, I'm a land hero at a convention of United Nations. It's called United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. We basically deal with desertification, semi-arid areas. We fight against deserts. So I think I'm in the right place actually talk about the environment, and I'm actually fascinated to find younger generation talking about the environment with a lot of passion. And you guys talked about it brilliantly and amazingly. I was really fascinated by everything that was happening here. I usually go to communities, talk to older people, and they don't understand this crisis. But you guys actually understand it better. So I believe we have a brighter future ahead of us. Our nation is in, I would say, right hand, on the right trajectory. All right. They said a few words, so I want to go further, but I'm happy with everyone that participated. And this is a great step for you guys that you've taken it. I didn't do this when I was a kid. I just want to be honest, but I wish I did because it would have been easier in my career. Perhaps I would have gotten jobs easily, or I would be somewhere further than where I am right now. So if you get a certificate, it's not just a piece of paper. It's something that is very vital. You have to treasure it, and it's going to be important when you reach maybe our age and his age. You may not reach his age. Currently, at my work, I work with an Indian. She's 8 years old, and she's just like you. She hasn't finished school, but she got a job because of the things that she does. So basically, if you're doing this at this age, I believe that you can go further in your life without. I'm not saying that you shouldn't study. I mean, you should definitely go to school, do the best you can, and but if you participate, if you're passionate about sustainable policies, the environment, and any other discipline of life, if you're passionate about it, I think it's always amazing to start when you're still young, and it can take you somewhere far. So yeah, that 8-year-old, trust me, she's doing well, and I can see amazing a large number of people that could actually be in those positions with your age, the passion, the tenacity. So keep it up, and I'm very pleased. Uh, I think I'll have a conversation with a younger generation later on for like 5 minutes outside there, maybe, and we see how we can. The fact that this is my first time to actually be here, I was invited by a friend that I met at the UN conference. Yeah, something like that. And yeah, now we are together here, and I believe that I will see how we can be partnering with them, and maybe take a few of you to UN conferences and see how the dialogues go on with the maturers and how the negotiations happen. We don't have to talk about suing the government when we don't know how we get to these policies and what the governments are supposed to be doing and what other players are supposed to be doing, like scientists, your role as an individual, and other corporate entities. So I think if we can have 2 or 3 that could represent us in the coming UN conference, which is happening in November and December, we already have maybe a campaign to take about 50 people. So I think we can have 3 or 2 slots for amazing betters so that when they come, they can tell others about the story. And yeah, we can start from there, see that we can take more and engage there. So I think I've already said a lot. I usually say a lot. I remember when I was running for member of parliament, that was in 2021, in my constituency where I come from, Shema. People could be like, you know what, just speak for 5 minutes and leave. That's how politicians do it, by like engaging with people. It's always fun to get to know the people that you're talking to and engage with them. So sorry for being with me. I talk a lot. I think I'm just going to pass on the mic so that I don't exceed. And I heard that you guys came from far. I think it would be better for you to go when it's still early because security is important. Because if we want to see you, I believe we have young parliamentarians, ministers, maybe a future president. He said, yeah, I think maybe he wants to run also. So it's better we keep ourselves alive to reach that time. So thank you for having me and for being great to our nation and yeah, having that tenacity to protect our environment because we are part of nature and if we don't protect nature, so it will be like we are killing ourselves. So thank you for fighting to protect other people. It was amazing seeing you.
Okay.
If you did not clap, we're not putting you on the list of those ones we're going to choose. We all want to fly out of Uganda, okay? Nice. Okay, now I'm going to read out your name. You will come out, he will hand you a certificate. Then the camera will see you for a second and then you can go and sit down. But as you come, we just want to tell you that we are grateful and you have done your best. Anybody receiving the certificate is nothing but a winner today. So without any further ado, we shall welcome Miss Ajemo Esther. You run quickly and get your clap for them, clap. Right, Miss Adong Scovia. We shall have Mr. Okumu Victorio. Mr. Roth Marade. Then we have Mr. Olum Jordan Otim. Then we have Miss Myra Nasa. And we have Miss Namazi Asha. Then we have Mr. Shimiemana Umar. We have Mr. Ashraf Ahmed. Keep clapping. You only clap. Before I read out the next name, I need you to know that if you clap, they will reach a time when they will clap for you. Okay? So your energy in clapping dictates how people will clap for you as you come. So clap for your members, okay? We have Mr. Barack Sami. We have Mr. Lubiogo Abdurrahim. Then we have Mr. Bwambale Alvin. We have Miss Evelyn Tushabe. We also have Miss Muhindo Anna Grace. We have Miss Mucho Tyra. We have Tenyingi Marvel. We have Aijuka Savior. We have Ainembaba Angel. We have Mr. Owoyesiga Jordan. We have Mr. Arinda Anison. We have Mr. Ahumuza Kevin. Then we have Mr. Mugisha Timothy. We have Miss Asimwe Sasha. We have Koburuinji Treasure. We have Mr. Ngabirano Benjamin. We have Ashaba Isaiah. We have Miss Tumusi Metrisha. We have Atuhe Alvin. And lastly, we have Murunji Mata. At this point in juncture, we are done with our duties. We wish you nothing but the best, and we shall be back here to announce the winners. We'll give the niece.
So wise at a tender age, and you actually interrogate issues that most of the people cannot interrogate at their age. How many of you found the motions challenging? Did you find the motions challenging? They were very easy. Next time, they will be a little bit harder. Since you did not find them these motions hard. Because these motions, when we sent out these motions to very many people for advice, they asked us, are you sure these motions are for primary kids? Are you sure they can understand what climate deniers look like? Or they can understand what climate change is as a concept? So, meaning that you are well researched and well versed with such issues that most of the people would minimize you to then understand. Are we together? Are we together? Yeah, so my name is Denise Ayebare and I was your tournament director, meaning I was directing the tournament. So if there is anything that did not go well in terms of food, in terms of the judges' feedback, in terms of the verdict, please come and meet me. Okay? Don't beat me, but then you can give us feedback how then things are going to be done better in the next edition, right? So what I'm here to tell you is about the activities that then we shall be having in the various schools. Are we together? So after finishing this edition, just like Andrew had said, because of the hiccup of postponing it, most of the schools called it off because this is a VD week, right? Last week was VD for most of you, right? Yes. So yeah, even this week, most of the schools had gestation and we had such hiccups. But then going on in mid-August, just like the environmental clubs that were formed in the different schools, what is going to happen is that you're going to visit those schools with materials. So what are those materials for? They are then supposed to be put in your library to create a section of green libraries. Are we together? How many of you love green games? Green games. So now we're going to have green libraries, meaning you're going to have cartoons that are talking about climate change, just like the game we had in the morning for the cause-effect solution. Remember? Yes. So we're going to have those materials that are then going to be provided by NEMA that are then going to go into your libraries, but then also support the environment club, including things like books and other materials. Yeah? Then the second thing that we're going to be having, probably after PLE, for the students who will still be at school, is about the garden challenge. So what does the garden challenge look like? The garden challenge is very simple. Each environmental club is going to be sort of tasked to to have within a garden within the school, yeah, where they're going to sort of plant and grow their vegetables or crops, and that is what the Environment Club is going to be doing. Are we together? So the Environment Club that emerges the best within our business within the country, then gets to win multiple awards and then come for a national hackathon. National hackathon is going to be probably around December or around early next year, around February, when we report at school. So what does this hackathon look like? How many of you love science? I remember there is Marvel Superwoman. Where are you? Yeah. So most of you love science, right? So in this science, you're going to be tasked to create sort of projects that then solve an issue of climate change, but then scientific projects. Are we together? Like things you think of, I know, like all these things you watch in movies, you know, all those ideas. Are we together? So scientific solutions aimed towards solving climate change. Very easily. I know most of you have been talking about agroforestry. Now I'm going to task you to have things like robots and everything. And in these hackathons, we're going to provide the materials. Are we together? If a school decides that they're going to build a robot that then can probably prevent pollution, or they're going to build software or something that the students come up with, then we are very glad to provide the materials that you need to compete in the hackathon. Doesn't that sound exciting? Yes. It does? Yes. You guys then should clap for it. I feel like I'm going to do that. So, well, after that hackathon, then we are going to have another edition of Nationals, right? And this is going to be bigger, and we're going to be choosing open spaces. I know school was yellowed, right? I know your patrons are here, but you can just nod your head. But you all should love school, but then the school environment gets sort of boring. So because of this, we need like outdoor environments to make sure that everything then is going to happen. Are we together? Are we together? So those are some of the activities we're going to be having. This is not the last. You're the pioneers of the first edition. You need to clap for that. You know, you're the pioneers of the first edition, and well, these certificates are very crucial for you. In the first edition, you get certificates, still same awards are going to come, and they're going to be very big. Just like everyone has said, certificates are very crucial and important for you to get things like scholarships, but for you to also show that you've been an active student and you can even do better. Are we together? So with all that said, I'm going to call upon the CA of public speech, then to announce the winners and the runners-up. Yeah? And then we shall be anticipating all the other activities. Thank you so much. I love you all. You're so knowledgeable. I can't imagine being wise at this age. If I was wise at this age, I probably would have been the president by now. So you guys are very smart. So thank you. David, over to you. Oh, clap loud. Ian, over to you, kind sir.
Ah. Pascal, how are you, my brother? How you doing? What's your name? David. So, David and I are going to take you through the last session of this particular tournament as we are waiting on one final activity, okay? And the task is very simple. At the end of the day, if we have an engagement about climate, if we know we participate in rounds and we get to learn one or two things, we feel it is then vital for us to summarize what we have learned and what we think is the best solution, okay? And I think that's one of the purpose of the environmental education toolkits for schools. It majorly focuses on how best students can learn about the toolkits and how then can they execute their role. Because you realize the problem that we have, I think I was discussing this with Ivory in some organization. The problem we have at hand is that we have very many people that are activists. We have very many people that are raising their voice. Okay, David? The problem is, at the end of the day, you don't practice what you say. So that's one of the essence of environmental education toolkits for schools. So I just want to hear from David, what are you going to do after this tournament? What have you learned and what do you think you can do when you live here? The knowledge that you have gotten from here, do you think that you can talk to students down there that haven't come? Come here, right? Yeah. Do you think that you can talk to students that haven't gotten this opportunity to come for nationals? Do you think you can change anything? And please be loud. This session is being recorded.
Yes, I think so, because according to the experience I've received today, the teaching, the explanation from the teachers, yes, I think I can be able to help the others who are outside the home universities and give them a little bit of the knowledge which I've got from here to the help of the others.
And how are you going to do that?
Like here we have learned about environment, conservation of environment, and so on. So these are some that I'll be talking to them, and I tell them this is the right way to do this, and this is the right way to do this. So we can keep our environment safe.
Thank you so much, David. David tells us that one of the things he's going to do after here is maybe to engage with his peers about the importance of the environment. Most of us don't know the importance of the environment because we still benefit from it. Maybe one last question, David. Do you think that teachers or patrons can also play an important role in the change of the environment, and why? Like, do you think you need their help in, advocating for this change in your school?
Yes, because most of the times we as pupils or students now in these schools, we don't have that much power, but we come out with the help of the teachers. That is a high chance for these students to understand us more.
Thank you so much. Maybe your last words, David, to students at your school, and maybe to anything else you want to say.
Yeah, these students at my school, please, the environment is very important. It needs to be conserved. Our future, not only be conserved for we, but also for the other future which is coming so soon after us.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you. David, you're from which school? Vanguard Primary School. Maybe one last conversation with now a patron, and I don't know, which person should I take? Emma Bujisha, please, first come here and we see. First come. Please talk to your students and we see. Because we think the role of students in engaging climate change, climate action cannot be achieved if they don't have, backup. And this backup is entirely needed, because you're the people who persuade the directors of different schools, you're the stakeholders. And one question that I have, Emma, is very simple. Do you think it is very vital for us to include climate education as a subject in primary schools?
Maybe good evening, everyone. My name is Emma Mugisha. I am a professional teacher of literature and GP and English. I am also a debate coach of several schools, but also a proud debater and a public speaker and public speaking coach equally. I am happy to see very many people here, from people from Kasese Bira. I have originality there, people from Bushenyi, people from northern Uganda, a lot of rations that push us. So what has been asked to me is it a necessity to have inclusivity of environment studies in primary schools? I think if we can achieve the fight against climate change, that is like the best solution. Because some of us or some other people have grown way old to find it important to love the environment. We have already fallen in love with other things. And like the Banyankore have a saying, so I believe, yeah, the direct translation is you bend a tree right when it is young. You're not going to bend a tree when it has grown old. You have to bend it when it is young. So we can make these young ones learn about the necessity of protecting the environment right from childhood, from primary schools, and these are the people that are going to change the environment for themselves, for us, and for the generations to come. I think that is like the best thing we can do to protect the environment, Mr. Ian.
Thank you so much, Emma. Maybe one last question before you leave. You realize the fight that we are in is a voluntary fight. It's not, people are not being paid for them to fight for the environment, okay? What do you think is the motivation behind? And how do you think your motivation that has led you to fight for the environment can be, you can tell it to a person and they also get motivated to fight for this environment. So do you think that motivation after telling it to us can be shared with your directors and maybe they put that into practice?
Yes, I think if we are to talk about the scope of these young ones, the best motivation is showing them that directly what they do covers them back. If you're going to tell them to plant trees around school, let them not plant like pine trees. Let them plant avocado trees that they have. Say, I have a girl here in P3. I saw some people here in P4. If you plant an avocado tree, by the time they sit P7, they could enjoy those fruits. Mango trees. And that is basically environmental based kind of conservation. So that is one way of motivating them. You cannot directly tell them to plant a pine tree while they're not going to benefit anything, rather they're going to be punished to clean the compound when that tree grows old, okay? I think the best way is to motivate these young ones to plant trees that give them back directly, because their mindset, they may not see the necessity of planting these other trees. They will see the necessity of planting an avocado tree that are going to harvest in 5 years to come and they can be able to achieve. Then for something else, we the old ones to motivate us. I think we need some funds. Well, the fight might be involuntary and we acknowledge the fact that we need to fight for climate, right? But at some point, it is just like we need to stop corruption. But if you want to go through some system, there is a common saying from people for Gambano. And at least if we can motivate people like we're going to plant trees, let us go and replant Makerere forest. You're not going to call people. If you say, please come, they're going to come 100, voluntary. But if you say, please come, we're going to give you 20,000 at the end of the day, you're going to receive 1,000. Those 1,000 are going to come with work with the expectation of something at the end of the day. They're going to plant more. At the end of the day, we all benefit. I think governments have the moral obligation to give us some little money so that we can conserve the environment, but that should not actually bear us. It is our own environment, you must protect it. Don't throw poison bags down, don't throw water bottles down. Keep it in your bag or find a dustbin to throw it, okay? You don't need to first plant a tree. You need to first protect where that tree is going to. Sometimes you're in a bus and someone finishes taking chicken at Namao, Jolo, which other places when you're going to Marana. Lukaya, and then all of a sudden someone gets a poison paper and they pass it through the window. Just keep it in your bag, in the side bag. When you get to your school or destination, drop it somewhere. Just live with that kind of attitude. When you take a sweet, keep the poison in your pockets. It is just for the betterment of our environment. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Emma Mujisha. Thank you. And who am I to talk to you, sir? He tells us 3 vital things that I get from him. One is that well, it is the moral obligation of the government, to fund citizens that are fighting for their environment. But maybe for me, I would disagree with that. And the reason is very simple. This is our environment. We share the same space. Whether you're a Gambanogu or whether you are someone who is down there who doesn't have what to eat, someone who has no connections in the government, you share the same airspace, okay? That simply means that the problems that are being affected by everyone, by anyone, they also affect you. So it is your role. You hold a role to fight for this environment because it is yours. And without it, you're nowhere, okay? The same way the environment provides very many things for you is the same way you should respect it and conserve it, okay? Maybe one important thing that I get from him is when he tells us about ways in which then we can conserve the environment. Talking about, recycling, talking about making sure that we deposit all plastic bottles into better places. That's one of the vital things. You very well know that plastic has contributed a lot into destroying the environment, okay? But most importantly, I see my chief adjudicator here. I think final results are ready. Just to conclude, one thing that I want to tell us is that if you really want the future, then you need to fight. You cannot benefit by getting money, but at least you're sure that you're creating a sustainable future for yourself, for your future kids, and maybe your grandkids, okay? You don't want to imagine of a world where you are experiencing sunshine the whole of 12 months, and there is nothing like rainfall. And you know what that means? It means that you're not going to plant anything and you're not going to get that, okay? It means that you're going to now look at, irrigation and all other methods that can help you to, get crops from the soil, which, of course, how many people afford that, okay? But we can avoid this by actually making sure that what we already have, the natural resources that we already have, can be taken care of, okay? If you see a neighbor encroaching, maybe a forest that has been there for more than 20 years, approach the Ministry of Environment, okay? NEMA, National Environment Management Authority. NEMA has precautionary principles. It is the role of a company that has destroyed that particular forest to again put it into place, okay? But of course, NEMA doesn't work like that. NEMA is you, NEMA is me. It is you to inform them that this and this is happening. It is you to go into various organizations and tell them that this and this is happening. We have very many organizations as of now that those are international organizations. We have, Denise knows very many of them. National, we have the Net Zero as soon as possible, I'm part of that, Ugandan chapter. We have Fridays for Future, I'm part of that, Ugandan chapter. We have We for All, it is one of our partners here. We had tree planting the Tree Adoption Uganda. Those are organizations that are in your area that you can reach, and maybe you can tell them and they influence stakeholders, and we do a better, we achieve conservation of the environment. That is it from me. Again, coming, addressing you and telling you who has won as regards to public speech. I'm the one who is going to announce the winner, so be ready. With that said, thank you so much.
Alright, so unlike our Ian, who is an expert in the environment, I'll just go direct to the winners for public speaking category. And the winner is... Come on! Are we ready? Yes! And the winner is a student, primary school student. Anyway, so this is how we're going to do it. We had 4 participants. The first person to speak or present was who? No, it was Gift, yes. Then the second person was him. Then the third person was was it Muhammad? Then the fourth was Huda. Alright, anyway. I am going to go ahead and announce the third best speaker. That is the second runners up. And I will also announce the second best public speaker. That is the first runners up. Then I will give the honors to the expert of climate change. The only man in Western Uganda who has ever sat on a horse.
You people, it is not easy. And he rears them. So if you want horses, please, Agaba is your man. So, without wasting any time, I am, who should I invite? Let me invite Moses. Moses should come and award these people and shake their hands. And yeah, Moses, please, our expert here. So, as Moses is coming, the second runners-up of public speaking category and the third best public speaker for the first edition of the National Environmental Primary School and Primary School Debate and Speech Championship is none other than Nambowa Huda. Congratulations for emerging as the third best speaker and the second runners up. Please come and shake hands. This lady is in P3, you people. P3. Oh, please, Huda, first remain and take a picture. But you come and take a picture with us. I also want to be a celeb, you people. Celebrity. Yes, I'm a celebrity now. Someone say celebrity. Someone say celebrity. I am a celeb. Hey, all right. Congratulations. All right, so the second best speaker, that is the first runners up, speech category for the National Environmental Primary Schools Debate and Speech Championship 2023 is none other than, I am actually looking at them. It is a student, and it is a he. That is none other than, Agawa, first come here. Get here. I need security. Is none other than, by the way, this person has a very interesting story and making it this far. But anyway, I'll let me save the story. None other than Buambale Alvin, second best public speaker. Congratulations. The story behind is that when they came to participate, they thought each one of them is going to do each public speaking task. We had a very heated argument and we had to agree with the patrons that we only need one person. They sent for us the very best. He made it to the finals and he's the second best public speaker. Congratulations. Congratulations, sir. We are so proud of you. You come on. We are celebrities now. We are celebrities. Patron, you can come and join. You come and join. You people, you don't want to celebrate your son. Please, you come and join. Yeah? Very proud of him. Very proud of him. Congratulations, Alvin. Thank you for making your patrons very proud and your school. I understand it is the first ever championship you're attending. Congratulations. Keep the fire burning. Now, sadly, on a sad note, we only have one certificate. Now, that one certificate is for the best speaker. Eh? The fourth best speaker. Thank you very much for trying. You made it so far and reached the finals, but we are awarding the 3. And the best speaker is none other than Agava Ian. Agava Ian is going to announce the best speaker. That's what I meant. So, Ian, over to you. Please make sure you read the right name. I might not pay you.
You know, I've always told you that some of you come here to participate. Others come to win. When we were judging a semi-final, I was judging it with this man. I told him, can we place bets? Not because I was biased, but because we all knew this person was going to win. Unfortunately, all of us lost. Therefore, he's going to give me my money, and I'm going to give you your money. So this person surprised us. We never saw it coming. That shows how much one can invest in themselves when they reach at that stage, okay? It simply shows that you can break as the last person and you win the final. So this person was wearing a uniform. They were smiling, and their tone was what we wanted. And by the way, this person is here. Where are they? Guys, we need to respect an overall best speaker of a tournament. Therefore, you all need to stand up. Yeah. This is a whole best speaker, ladies and gentlemen, who addressed the president in a tone that is acceptable. You know, when you're addressing a president, in as much as problems are happening, you don't use that voice, president, you did this, you did that. No, he's still your president. You need to persuade him so that he can buy into what he has done wrong, okay? With that said, this person is none other than Ampere Gift Gabriela. Congratulations, girl. Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to clap for the overall best winner. Well done. You're from Parental Care. Please, patrons. Yeah. Thank you, Bright, for doing a great job. Thank you. Congratulations, too.
Congratulations, Ampere Gift. I remember in one of the rounds, that was round 3. It's okay. Thank you very much, Moses. I remember in round 3, Ampere Gift came and told me, I am feeling dizzy. I don't know whether the speeches were overwhelming her, but it is really a joy to see that she has won the best public speaker. Now, from the public speaking category and CAP team, thank you for coming. Let me welcome the chief adjudicator to give us the winners of today's tournament, debate category. Over to you, Peter Atoto Eliano.
Okay. Where is that? Where is Mr. David? Did he need Did you need security when you were here? Where is security? I also wanted. Rahim, come give me security vest. All right. We are almost getting to the close of the event. In the finals, we had 2 schools. We had Parental Junior Primary School and Nursery, and we had Medina Islamic Junior School. One of these teams is going to be the winner of today, okay? They were all in school uniform. They were all very amazing children. They had boys and girls in their schools. They had uniforms. They had sweaters and caps, and they had what, veils and everything. They had interesting names. But before we get there, let's first announce the best speaker. Now, the best speaker. This speaker here was above and beyond. With our tab master, we need to make sure everything is clear here. It's the one. Okay, cool. It is what it is. Well, this speaker here had the highest grossing tab. They were on top of everything from round one. Okay? For the best speaker, we always have to stand up. The best speaker for the 2023 DCA, the Debate Academy Championships, is none other than, they were the best speaker in the theme, which is National Environmental Primary Schools Debate Speech and Championships 23. Drum rolls, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Mugisha Timothy. Mr. Mugisha Timothy ranked best speaker of all speakers who participated. Okay, he was able to complete his role as the best speaker, and we can only commend him and his coaches for working super hard to ensure that they achieved everything. A photo moment, let us also join. Join. Where is the camera guy? Take photo. All right. We thank Mr. Timothy for that wonderful. Now, the moment we have all been waiting for, yes. Out of 5 judges who participated in the debate tournament, we had 5 still who went to the finals, right? These judges, on a unanimous vote, chose one team to win. It means that all the 5 judges believed, or all the 5 judges agreed that the team that wins this tournament, okay, is the team that was able to, above and beyond, prove to us that their side of the house actually achieved and solved the problem and had arguments to actually back up those allegations. But more importantly, all the speakers were able to perform their roles properly. They were like a well-oiled machine. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the winner of today. I've been told to first announce the first runners, but yes, we shall announce the first runners up. Then the runners up will come out here. Then we shall welcome the winning team. All right. But if I mention the runners up of today, it means that the team that actually wins. So I will only start with the team that wins. Then the runners up will move here and get their beautiful certificate. It's in a glass. We hope you do not drop it down. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner. Should we mention it right now? Can we like take some water, have fun, dance? So we need to mention it right now. Okay. Well, the team that wins is a team that is either in pink or in black. Okay. They either had ties or they did not have ties. Okay. They either had tags on or didn't have tags on. Okay. Where are we going now? Come. Where are we running to? We're removing tags. Okay. The pressure is getting worse. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners are, drum rolls, Medina Islamic Junior School. We welcome our runners-up, Parental Junior School. Kindly come for your certificate. Before the winners come to the floor, let's first have the runners-up come in. All the 3 speakers should come in for a photo moment. We are also told that you will each walk away with a book on how to maintain the climate. And you'll have a nice t-shirt in there. An education guide. And this is for the winning team. Rather, the winning team Yeah, as runners, we also believe you are winners, but just because it's a finals. Our photo guy, Ten Hag. And now for our winners, it's a bit, DJ, you're supposed to play a nice song for the winners, but it's okay. We can clap as the winners come to the floor. Keep clapping for the winners. So, alright, as we come to the closure of this auspicious organized tournament today, I just hope that we have learned something, okay? I hope that we have learned something. One, that we just need to practice hard, work hard, and we shall be able to achieve anything. The only way that you're ever going to be a better debater is if you keep on practicing and if you listen to your patrons and you try and put everything you're putting into practice, then you'll be able to win. Now, a bit of clarity. We do have trophies, you shouldn't worry. We also have medals, but because we had ordered them to come, they're still on their way, but when they come, we shall send those trophies to your schools, okay? So you mustn't worry yourself that, oh, we have not gone home with a trophy. A trophy shall come, okay? Right? For now, we have nothing to do but say thank you from each and every one of us on CAP. From myself as the CA for debates, I have nothing to say, but we are thankful. We do not have any issues with any judge, which means you people were so inclusive. To the patrons, we are very grateful for this moment. We know patrons as people who can always come up to us, but we did not get any problem with any patron. And I think this is the first tournament this is happening. So for the patrons, we are really, really grateful. If we could give you anything, we can just give you a round of applause and we can move on.
Going to send medals to each of the schools, yeah? The package from NEMA was not yet ready, having been postponed to today. The trophies for the runners-up and the winners, plus the medals and the package is going to be sent to each of the schools before this week ends or at the beginning of next week. Is that okay? Yeah, so the medals, participation and the packages are going to come from NEMA and the trophies. So thank you so much for honoring this event. And we want to thank all of you from the organizing committee and from everyone who has made this happen. Thank you so much. We cannot emphasize how this couldn't have been a success without you. So best of luck, safe journeys back. and I wish you all the best.